back to the beginning of a new week. This one should be pretty short because, as you'll see in a second, the goals that I had for this week really didn't get accomplished. However, I do have a surprise that I have been working on this week, and that's very exciting. So in a moment, I'll go ahead and throw up the goals that I did have for this week, most of which didn't get done. But I will take you around and show you what I did get done this week. So I'll start the tour with my sticks, which are actually these tiny little kiwi vines, which if I come in here, you can kind of see it's right there. I did get around to pruning all of the kiwi vines along here. And you're supposed to wait until the winter when they're asleep. But when I trim them, because they didn't have a lot of growth this year, I literally just trimmed them down to like these tiny little sticks. What I'm waiting for is like this pencil thick stump. I want their new growth to be like that. So since I planted these this last year, their growth was very thin and spindly. So I basically cut it all back down to the beginning. And I'm hoping that their root system has taken in. And then this year, they'll kind of spout up and I'll actually be able to trim them at a decent height. But we'll see. The holdout apple trees here, that one down there has lost all its leaves. But this one, I'm still waiting for them to all fall down. I might be able to come and like shake it, but yeah, like they're still holding on quite a bit. So at some point, since we're not expecting any more frosts in the near future, I'll probably actually go up on a ladder and manually defoliate this. And then that will prep it for trimming, because basically as long as there's leaves up there, the plant is still sending its sap to those points. So if I were to cut it, it's gonna like bleed a little, and that's not what I want. So basically at this point, I think I need to manually kind of force those leaves off so that there isn't any leaf life up in the canopy left, and then give it like a week or two, and then I should be able to prune this tree and its buddy down there. The other sticks that we'll check out are my grapevines along this way. Again, I kind of waited till I knew that they were very, very dormant. This one here, if I get my thing to play nice with me, I went ahead and I just left it cut way up here. And I'm going to see if it sends out other shoots. The other ones just didn't really grow too well. So similar to the kiwis, I've gone ahead and trimmed them like super, super low, with the idea that in the spring, when they wake up, hopefully they'll push lots of really strong new growth. And then I can use that to guide these up to what I want to train them to be this year. So I did manage to get some of the garden cleaned up, and I'll throw in some videos of that. I did also get around to figuring out what was wrong with their thing. And if I zoom in, their feeder, I've now put a little piece of board under the treadle, because basically when it was going too far down, it was pushing the opening, the top open, and then it wouldn't have enough gravity to go back. So now with that little board in the way, it doesn't open up all the way, and that way it just falls down a lot easier. The big thing that I worked on is actually over here. So this is my flower beds. It is a keyhole garden, so the entrance is actually up here, and over time I'll actually re-mulch all this area. But basically you enter there, you come down, and it goes all the way over there. And then there's two little like stumps that I use as little stepping stones to get out the other direction, because originally I wanted to plant this all the way around, but ultimately this spread is too long to have it cut off over there. So I do have some little stepping stones there. But I will go in and show it off. I'll throw in some video of kind of the progress of this thing. Under this is cardboard. So over here, you can kind of see where the cardboard creeps out along the edge. And obviously this section still needs to be done. But last year, I focused on kind of getting this keyhole area done. And I had the dahlias, which may or may not come back, my cannas here, and then my honeyberries. Originally, I had blueberries here, but they didn't make it. And then I replaced them with honeyberries. You can see here that the honeyberries are basically sticks, but I've read that I shouldn't prune them. I should just kind of let them come back and see what they do next year. So we'll see. These are my little stepping stones so that I can get out of this area without having to go all the way back along there. And then the idea is that I ordered peonies. So I do have some things in the dirt, like here under the mulch, I have dahlias that may or may not have survived. I have a cosmos, I think there. I'm not exactly sure what's there. I have some notes somewhere. But basically, my idea is that most of these things that are in here will probably end up being dug up because they can, they're bulbs. And then all along this like 10-meter stretch will end up being peonies. And I'm hoping they do well because they're super pretty flowers. And then along here, I still have like lilies there. And then these are my nursery of saffron crocuses that didn't flower this year, but and my tea plant. But I will eventually redo all the way up there and remove the fabric and basically aerate it, add some compost, aerate this, add some compost. And this whole area will end up being a flower garden. So to wrap up this video, I just want to share that I did step back this week from kind of things that I was supposed to get done because I felt a little overwhelmed and I felt that I was kind of spending too much time in the nitty-gritty details. So I did step back to look at the big picture, and I have identified 3 goals for this year that I want to share with you. I've also identified a handful of kind of core values that I want to bring to the garden in 2026. And I've also identified a few, I would say, guiding principles. They're kind of like rules that I'm going to try to adhere to, but ultimately we're all human and we make mistakes. So I'll do my best. But these are kind of, I guess, the overarching tenets that are going to drive this year's garden. My goals for this week, I will also continue to share, and I am looking forward to actually starting some seeds. So even though I didn't get around to cleaning my room so much or cleaning the carport so much, hopefully this week those things will happen to a greater degree, and that will set me up for success when it comes to seed starting this week. So I hope you had a great week, and I will see you next week. Bye.